Hello students, today I am going to start a new chapter in English for class 11. The chapter is Ranga's marriage. It's in the book Snapshot and the writer is Masati Venkatesha Iyengar. So let's know something about the writer. Masati Venkatesha Iyengar, he was a well-known author or well-known writer in Kannada language. He wrote more than 123 books in Kannada and about 17 in English. Okay, so earlier what he did was he wrote short stories about people life in villages, then about cities, and had worked with different people knowing about the culture there. But he was much attached to Kannada language. Now let us discuss about the characters of this story. First character is Shama. Actually, he is the narrator of this story, Ranga's marriage, and he lives in Haisali village, Haisali in south. Ranga, he is the son of a village accountant who has gone to study outside or to city. Then Ratana, she is a girl of 11, she is Ramarau's niece, and later on she becomes wife of Ranga. Shastri, he is a village astrologer whom with Shama instigate or plans to marry Ranga. This you will later learn in the story. The theme of this story actually, this story depicts the life in Indian villages in the past when child marriage was a common practice. Nowadays also in remote areas somewhere we can find child marriages, but it's not legal. Okay, it's illegal and the government has its own role to play. Now, this chapter actually, Ranga's marriage, is an interesting story of how a person is Shama. He manipulates Ranga to get married to a girl who is just 11 years old and she lives in that village. Okay, so this is what the basic theme of the story is. Now the narrator is called Shama. He himself admits that he is just like a dark piece of oil cake, means he is too black, and that is why he is named Shama. He lives in Hoishali village. He is sad to see that his village finds no mention in geography book, nor there is any sign in any of the atlas. But in his opinion, the village has several unique features. What are those features? That there are many mango trees and there are creeping plants on which they can have, means on one plant they can have the full meal, and they are found in the village pond. So the best way to know that village is to just visit it. Unless visiting a place, we cannot know about it. So this was his thinking about his village. Okay, and he himself is called Shama because he is black in color. He looks too dark. The another point is Shama, the narrator, tells a story. So Shama proceeds to tell a story that it happened 10 years ago in their village, and in those days not many people knew English. All over the country there were less people who knew English, and in his village there were very few. Okay, so not many people were knowing English. So when the village accountant sent his son to city to Bangalore actually to study. Okay, and study what? English. Everyone in the village was surprised, and his homecoming actually, it became a grand event in that village, because naturally no one has gone to city to study English, and village accountant son was the only one. So when he returned to his home, the news spread just like a wildfire, and everyone from the village gathered to see the boy, whether he has changed or not. Means they flocked together, they flocked at the boy's house when he came back. So Shama was sorry, Shama was also a part of that crowd who had gathered there to see Ranga. But everyone was disappointed. Why they were disappointed? They noticed that there is no change in Ranga. He looks the same as everyone else. Okay, and an old lady there, she even ran her hand on his chest. And what did she find? She found that even the secret thread was there. The sacred thread was there. The janeu that people wear was also there, and she was very happy to find it there. Now everyone turned away, they melted, they went to their home. But when Shama the narrator spoke to Ranga, Ranga did namaskara, standing stiff as other people do. He didn't do that. He folded his hand, did namaskara, and even touched his feet. Whose feet? Shama's feet. Shama the narrator's feet. The next point is Ranga's views about marriage. So that afternoon, or the same afternoon when Shama met Ranga, Ranga came to Shama's house with a couple of oranges. Now Shama thought that such a genius fellow must get married, should settle down and serve the society. He asked Ranga, or you can say Rangappa, when he planned to marry. But Ranga declared that he was not going to marry unless he finds a right girl or the right girl. He had his own rigid views about marriage. It was silly to marry a young and immature girl. Secondly, a man should marry a girl whom he admires. This was his views, and he was against arranged marriages. Okay, Shama was a little put down, or you can say let down, but nevertheless he made up his mind to find a suitable match for Ranga.